Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Ben Fischer. You may know me as BetaFish1 from the Draft Chat podcast. So today I'm going to be building some Commander Legends Sealed. Now this is a very unique environment. We've got Limited and Commander getting smashed together into one, and these are two of my favorite formats, so I'm excited to crack some packs and see what kind of monstrosity I can put together. Alright, let's get started. 6 packs to get through here. Now I'm going to start laying out my cards in a particular way. I do this when I'm building Sealed. I'm going to lay at the bottom the cards that are meh, they're not that great. Up above those, I'll put cards that tend to lead me towards a certain color or archetype or something, ones that are a little more interesting to me. The rest will go on the bottom, and then any legends or super bombs that I really want to play, I'll put up top. Here I'm eyeing a Slaughter the Strong. That's a really strong build around. My first rare here is not that exciting, but then I get a Hamza. That's interesting. And whoa, Jared Carthalion, True Heir. Now this is something cool. Now this is a 3-color legend, and well, we don't need that Piper anymore. Let's get that out of here. If I can play either of those two, I'll be pretty happy. Jared has some Monarch synergy, which is a very, very powerful archetype in Commander. The ability to draw cards in Naya and also have this cool political element. It can be a pretty fun way to play the game. Now I'm eyeing some removal, some Scourler Shot. I have to read this Finn Clade Fugitives, as I've never heard of this card before. Some other interesting colorless cards. This one not of particular worth. So again, I'm going to be paying special attention to red, white, and green at this point, because if I can play Jared, well, I guess opening a red mythic is going to work out pretty well. Some other stuff in a rare, but whoa, wait a minute. Is that a foil Archon? Alright, 2 mythics in 1 pack, one of them being foil. Yeah, I'm in for this. And not to mention that they're on color for Jared. Yeah, sorry Nostro, Voice of the Crags. We're not doing that today. I am now especially looking to play Jared as my commander, so hoping to get some more payoffs in green. But this Archon even works well with the kind of attacking, the Port Razor actually also goes with, but the Monarch theme, as it makes you the Monarch, and then when you're the Monarch, you can't take damage from stuff that's amazing. So that would keep Jared in a pretty strong position. Pilgrim's Eye actually goes great in the deck that I'm looking for here. 3 colors, so it helps me fix. Same with Emissary of Trest. Just another way to get myself the Monarch. Command Tower, I'm pretty happy to see. Some of these other cards, not so much. Yeah, so War Room, interesting little card here. Not sure if it's worth playing in a 3-color deck. I'm probably going to play it just as a value card. And then here we see our first blue legend, although we're pretty far away from playing blue at this point. Honestly, I'm already pretty happy with what we've got here. Scrounging Bandar I like, and I really like seeing that ramp. So the colorless diamond artifact cycle, they tap for mana, they come in tapped, but they help ramp you to your game plan. We see some more strong red pirates, and wow, another mythic? Okay, Sphinx of the Second Sun. I'm probably still on the Jared Carthalion plan here, but cool, I can't complain. In some earlier packs that I opened, I got a Tevish Sat, so you know, at that point I've gotten 4 mythics out of the box. Not looking forward to my next sealed pool. Probably drained all the good stuff out of it already, but I don't know, maybe there's still a mana drain in there for me somewhere. Some other cards here at this point I'm just kind of going through. Pretty happy to see a red diamond as well. Rupture Spire is going to make it in the deck, given that it's 3 colors. Maybe a Fencing Ace will as well. Now I'm going to be looking for ways to get my creatures through. This rare is relatively unexciting. Sakashima's Will, not really what we're trying to do here. I don't know, it could be kind of interesting. I don't think it's very good though. And yeah, so here's the only thing that throws me through a loop in this pack. Got Zara, Renegade Recruiter. So perhaps a blue-red Pirates deck could be good too. That being said, I have some strong cards in white, and Jared just seems so sweet. Nah, I'm probably still gonna play white. Here we have some little sailor memes there. They put Preordain in the set for some reason. I actually really like the Azure Fleet Admiral there, but as well as what would go with the Monarch thing that I'm trying to do. Sorry, Jared doesn't have Blue in him. I like Val Wilderness a lot, and the Lightning Ray Crew. This is a pretty strong pack if I'm ending up in red and green in some way. I like the Vow cycle. I also like this Court cycle, but probably not going to make it in my deck because I'm not playing black. And some other relatively unexciting stuff going on in here. Kind of a dull foil there. Looks a little weird. again, still in the Jared plan. We're seeing a lot of Monarch synergies. Vow of Odinus can help make sure that my opponents stay attacking the right people, aka not me. Again, this is a pretty tough call between these two, because I do have some cool stuff in blue, some monarchy things, but at that point I'm not really getting paid off for them in the same way. What's the point of playing all these blue cards if I'm not, going super over the top? Plus that Archon is just so sick. I do have some other ways to get monarchy in green, and a few in red as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to lean towards Jared here. Maybe we'll see what we can put together with him. So, here we've got my sealed build laid out. I've got Jared Carthalion, Aragorn at the helm here. This is actually starting to make me want to build a Lord of the Rings inspired commander deck. Maybe that might be my next build. Now, I'm just going to leave him here chilling in the middle, although realistically he'd be cast at the 3-drop slot. As you can see, the 3-drop slot's a little heavy, and I think that's my least favorite thing about this deck. Now, this deck definitely has power. There's a handful of mythics floating around in here, and some decent rares and uncommons too. This deck can win games, whether through damage or out card advantaging the opponents somehow. This is one of my favorite types of big monsters decks. It actually has a significant amount of card draw, but the cards that I draw ideally will be better than my opponents. Now you can see the curve is a little strange here too. We've got a good number of 3s, a good number of 5s and 6s. The low drops are looking a little sparse. Now, there's a reason for this. A lot of them are mana rocks. We've got Fire Diamond and Moss Diamond. We have other ways to get lands out. We've got a Pilgrim's Eye. We've got Jalanra that acts as ramp. We've got a Fertilid. Gifted Paradise fulfills a similar thing. And something like Howling Golem. And our other, various card draw effects, like the Monarchy itself, will help us get the mana that we need to be able to cast some of these bigger things. And then, of course, these games are going to be going long. This is Commander, so we want some power. Now, in Commander Legends Limited, that power looks more like a 4/4 Vigilance Reach, but there's some other things in here like Port Razor and Archon of Coronation that can really take over a late game. Lore Seeker's Stone is what I'm interested to try out as well. Pay 3, tap it to draw 3 cards, and it costs 1 more for each card in your hand. This is a way to draw some cards in the late game. And of course, some of my inclusions are built with the Monarchy in mind. For example, Seraph of Dawn is able to fly over and reclaim the Monarchy if needed. Vow of Wilderness will prevent a key creature that might be looking to steal the Monarchy from me. Well, it'll keep it aimed somewhere else. And then I have a removal suite, Cage of Hands, Soul's Fire, Skyweller's Shot, Welding Sparks, and my mini board wipe Fiery Cannonade in an attempt to keep some of the bigger threats off the battlefield while my things may remain the biggest. There's also some over-the-top win cons. I've got Fin Clade Fugitives, which I'm excited to try out the Encore mechanic for. And then again, I also have some more just value creatures. Something like a Lightning Rig Crew might actually act as a win con in itself. And there's some other little role players in here. I've got a little bit of interaction with artifacts and enchantments and natural reclamation here. And besides that, there's just some good value creatures and some things to kind of fill in the pieces, right? Stuff like Coastline Marauders, Impulsive Pilferer, I think Ancestral Blade. I'm interested to see if I can slap that on Jared, same with the Hero's Blade. And Fencing Ace actually made it in as well. Scrounging Bandar is in there for a little bit of synergy with Hamza, and perhaps to start powering up Jared a little earlier than anticipated. It's something I like about the Vow of Wildness. I can actually just put it on Jared if I want to start slamming it with him a little earlier than I thought. And I have some other ways to keep opponents off my back, like a Frenzied Saddle Brute and Entourage of Trest. So, in my building process, this is what I wound up with. And of course I went through the lands, and I uploaded the full build online, if anyone wants to check out the list online. I know my image quality is not the best. Hopefully you can make out these titles. Now, I have here 7 forests, 7 mountains, and 6 plains, which look like about the split that I wanted here. This is primarily a red-green deck with a few white cards in it, much more red and green cards. My white cards have heavy color requirements, and then a few of them are early, so I ended up going pretty straightforward. Also, I have extra green and red sources, and I have ways to get lands out of my deck in a few different ways, so I'm not super concerned about the mana here. I even have some ways to make treasure. Now, As for how I went about building this deck itself, I started the way that I would build any sealed pool, and that's deciding on my colors. In this case, I decided on Jared to be my commander because, well, like I said, the pirates might be fun, but not for this one. Jared is what we're doing today. This looks awesome. So I set aside the blue and black cards. Don't think I'm going to need those for this draft. Maybe another time. Maybe I'll find a nice home for them in my other commander decks. Now, once I set those aside, I sorted all my red, white, and green cards out, and I was looking to see what I could do with them. Now, I started by laying them all out and seeing which ones didn't really fit the game plan. So, for example, Rebek, it's got to do with artifacts, not really what we're looking to do here. Something like Lifecrafter's Gift is better in a more focused green-white counters deck. Something like Champion of the Flame could be good if I'm going down the auras and equipments line, but this prefers to be in a straight red-white deck with some more focus. Something like Slaughter the Strong, that's just going to wipe my board and probably leave other people with better stuff to do. And I could go down the line for a lot of these other cards. They do different things, and oftentimes good things, but they either don't make it on power level, or they're a little overcosted, or they're just not exactly what this deck wants to be doing. Some of them were admittedly pretty tough cuts. Ancient Animus and Strength of the Pack were two of the last cuts that I made from this deck. But it turned out that I just had better, more consistent removal. Although actually, maybe Ancient Animus is kind of cool with Jared. Ooh, I might be rethinking that one. You know what? Let's slot in that Ancient Animus, and we'll probably take out one of these red removal spells. I guess it's kind of like a strictly better Soulsfire, because it actually has the damage be dealt to Jared, and when I'm the Monarch, then that actually puts counters on him. So never mind. Now I'm done with the deck. So Strength of the Pack was the last cut that I had to make, and while this deck can use this as a pretty cool win con to just go over the top, it's a little bit flimsy. Top decking this when you really could prefer to have a creature. If I'd rather just have like a Sentinel Spider in my deck than this, I think I'm going to find that this deck wants to build out a board of creatures, not necessarily go over the top with something that rewards you for having a ton of them. So I wound up with this list here. Now, I mentioned the 3-drop slot is a little bit heavy. I'm not super concerned about this because I have a feeling these games will be going long, probably long enough that there'll be turn 6 when I get the chance to cast 2 of these. And also I'm doing a little bit of ramping as well with the diamonds and the Gifts of Paradise and the Fertilid and the Pilgrims, all this other stuff. Overall, I think this is a pretty sweet deck. I am looking forward to seeing these new cards in action, especially Portraiser and Archon and Jared himself. Like I said, if this deck goes well, I'm looking into making some sort of, I don't know, maybe I'll hire someone to make a nice altar of Jared. I don't know, something about the taking back the monarchy that's his. This is just screaming to build a Lord of the Rings deck, right? Actually, you know, I kind of have that going already. Look, there's a giant spider, and okay, then maybe there's not a lot of pirates, but there's a big elephant. That works, right? And then Archons are kind of like specters. There's a dragon. This thing's probably an orc, right? Yeah, it's an orc. All right, I've already got it going for me. Well, everybody, if you're interested in seeing how these games go, you can head on over to our Discord. I'm sure we'll be talking all about how they are in there, maybe even streaming them for people that are interested in hanging out and watching, but aren't interested in playing. And if you're interested in playing against this deck, well, it's not too late to sign up. Unless it is, in which case I'm talking to you from the past. Whatever. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for checking out this video.